Hey guys, it's Ricky again. This is a quick response to some of Voice of Reason's thoughts on Princess Luna that he presented in the co-op review of Do Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep that he recently did with Silverquill. I would have gotten this out sooner, but I wanted to finish up the last two videos I posted because I promised them in a specific order. Now, I'm not a fan of the episode either, but I felt a lot of points that he brought up were questionable at best. I already left a comment on the original video addressing some of my concerns, but I have more material to bring up since then, and some of it would be much better with clips from the show backing me up. However, I will be speaking only in the context of the show and not the comics, nor will I be bringing up anything he says about the comics, as I do not read them. Just to be clear, I have no ill will towards Voice or anyone who may have agreed with him. I won't be making any jokes or potshots.
Although after you left, I did happen to dream that I was eating a giant ice cream cone with all of Ponyville while taking a test we hadn't studied for. See? What'd I tell ya? Every pony makes mistakes!
Yeah, one of those mistakes being forgetting to remind the girls not to dream about other ponies.
Would that have made a difference? Most folks don't have control over their dreams, and reverse psychology is a factor here.
Plus, even if she did, how was anybody, even Luna herself, supposed to know that the Tantibus can learn about other ponies after it left a dream it was in? Don't worry, I'll elaborate on the Tantibus being unpredictable later on.
Luna is the most overhyped character in the fandom. She gets way too much praise for stuff she doesn't do. Ever since the pilot episodes, Luna has been praised as this misunderstood, completely innocent whoopee. We should feel sorry for Luna because she was banished to the moon for 1,000 years. I'm sorry, what was the reason for her becoming Nightmare Moon again? Oh, that's right, she wanted attention and acknowledgement for her duties of raising the moon and watching over the night by holding the sun hostage! That doesn't sound like a selfless and caring ruler, it sounds more like a selfish and bratty teenager who wants things her way. I hate to say it, actually, no I don't, Celestia was in the right for banishing her to the moon.
Honestly, I've never seen Luna as completely innocent. You're right, what she did was selfish and unjustified, and I'm sure most people will agree with you. But let's look at the context of her story. Luna's tale is one of a fall from grace, and that's what I believe to be a huge reason why people feel sorry for her, because she was once a selfless and caring ruler who eventually gave in to her own jealousy and anger towards her sister, which turned her into a monster. It's a classic tale that anyone can relate to because down to its core, it can happen to literally anybody. And chances are we all know at least one person who had a similar experience of self-destruction. Now, in order for the story to work, the character needs to be likable or have some sort of appeal. And Luna met that criteria after she turned back to normal. Instead of pulling a Dr. Wily and getting on her knees and groveling for forgiveness simply for being caught, she instead embraced Celestia in an act of genuine remorse because she knew what she did was wrong. And that made sympathy and empathy for anybody who might have had a similar experience with jealousy taking over kick in for a lot of people. Lastly, her punishment. Did she deserve to be sent to the moon? Yes. Holding the sun hostage forever would have no doubt have a devastating effect on the environment and the pony's way of life, especially considering that they're herbivores. But being alone, and when I say alone, I mean alone, where there isn't even so much as sound, for a freaking millennium. Now, do correct me if I'm wrong on this, but did Celestia even try and visit or reason with her between then and when Nightmare Moon was set free? No telepathic prison visits or something? If not, that's kinda messed up.
Ever since then, Luna was the worst part of most of the episodes she had a prominent role in. Luna has shown she's not a good role model time and time again, undeserving of the fanfare.
Where? When? How? Why? Aside from this one, I looked over all the episodes that Luna's had a prominent role in, and even ones where she gets barely any screen time at all, and didn't find anything questionable. Literally nowhere. The only things I could see that were maybe wrong were in the CMC Dream Trilogy arc, and even then it's a stretch. In Sleepless in Ponyville, Luna told Scootaloo to face her underlying fear, which is telling her idol that she was scared. Yeah, she misinterpreted that and went outside into the dangerous woods, but Scoots was in a complete panic mode at that point, and you don't think rationally when you're panicking. In Sweetie Belle Toils, Luna kept showing Sweetie a vision of the future if her plans to sabotage Rarity went through, and it kept going despite her pleading for them to stop. And that's due to a probable combination of Luna trying to drive her point home, and probably because Sweetie couldn't wake up at that moment. And in the CMC Dream Trilogy episodes, it's not like Luna was creating the bad dreams that they were having, and because she visits tons of dreams every night, she can't be there for them instantaneously. Now some of you watching might be noticing that I'm really grasping at straws for any faults on Luna's part, but that's because Voice is incredibly vague about her not being a good role model. You don't bring up any brief examples of how she was the worst part in whatever episodes at all, not even by episode name. Not even in any of the CMC Dream Trilogy episodes where she had the most potential in botching everything up. And the only clues that I had to go by were the episodes from which the clips that were being shown alongside your OC. And even then, I got no leads. If you elaborated your point on some other videos like ones on your channel or in other collabs you were in, I haven't seen all of them, nor can I read your mind. My point is that you can't just say this kind of stuff about a popular character and expect absolutely everyone to take your word for it. Don't just say Luna wasn't a good role model, convince me.
And this episode supports my case as Luna being an overhyped character, not only abandoning those clearly in need of help during the dream sequences instead of taking them along to assist the others.
She explains why she couldn't bring them along earlier in the episode.
Only I can move from dream to dream. I am afraid no pony can help me tonight.
And reminds Rarity that she can't follow before she left her dream.
It has jumped into another dream. I am sorry, but if I am to stop it, I must follow it where you cannot.
It's backed up in Bloom and Gloom. When Apple Bloom watches Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle's dreams, she's never shown to step inside their respective doors, which heavily implies that she can't step through them, probably because she isn't linked to those dreams. It isn't until near the end when she's able to step through a door where Scoots and Sweetie are waiting, because at that point, Luna connected their dreams together. Now, we know that Luna has to be awake herself in order to use her spell to access and link dreams together. That's the answer to this other point you bring up later on.
She says she gave herself the same nightmare every night. What, does she put the punishment on hold every time some pony's having a crisis of their own?
Plus, do they really need help in handling their dream monsters? Fluttershy maybe, but even then all she has to do is remember that she can fly. The main six have dealt with Nightmare Moon herself, a reality-warping demigod, literal Satan who can tank a Kamehameha, and much more threatening dangers than spoopy dresses and rotten apples. And towards the end, it's established that they can manipulate their dreams any way they want, even with the Tantibus in their presence. All they need to do is figure that out, which they do on their own later on, and then they're all set.
The concept is interesting on paper, the music and animation are great, it's entertaining to be sure with the final fight in the town, however, that's all ruined because of the main character. The irresponsibility of Luna creating something to hurt herself, knowing it could harm others, adds fuel to my fire about Luna undeserving of the absorbent amount of praise.
While Luna did know the Tantipus can harm others, she made it just to harm herself after all, she most likely didn't know it could escape her dreams in the first place.
I must have learned of you six from seeing you in my dream. I saw that the Tantipus had grown more powerful, but I did not realize that power was enough to enable it to escape my dreams.
I think it's feeding off your guilt, Princess Luna.
If that is so, then perhaps that is how it grew strong enough to escape in the first place.
Those quotes pretty much confirm that she didn't know of the Tantipus's full capabilities. Even at the start of the episode when it escaped, she basically went, "Wait, what?" Now I know what you might be thinking. Luna created the Tantibus, so surely she must know of all of its abilities already. Not necessarily. It was established in the episode that the Tantibus gains new abilities as it grows more and more powerful from Luna's guilt. We can theorize that one of those new abilities was some form of sentience and free will. That's what would have made it unpredictable to its own creator. Whew, finally done. Sorry this took so long, I thought the video was going to be 5 minutes maximum. But now when I'm recording this, the script is 3 pages long. Now, Voice, if you're watching this, if you want to discuss this further or elaborate some of your points, you can reach me on Skype or private messages or Twitter or wherever you can reach me. Even the comments. Speaking of which, if anyone else watching can bring up examples of Luna's shortcomings, especially if you read the comics, since, like I said before, I don't read them, do not hesitate to tell me them. Till next time, Ricky, out.